Do you ever wake up feeling as though you have been running a race in your sleep, with a heart that is far heavier than it ought to be? It is a peculiar kind of exhaustion that no amount of rest can fix, because it is not your body that is weary, it is your spirit. You are carrying the weight of decades, the words you should have said, the choices that still haunt your quiet hours, and the heavy worries for a world that you can no longer control. You feel as if you must hold everything together, but the truth is, you are allowed to put the burden down. Sit with me for a moment on this porch, and let us talk about the simple secret to finding a heart that is light, quiet, and finally at peace. It is a hard habit to break, is it not? We think that by worrying, we are somehow protecting the people we love. But all we are really doing is adding weight to our own shoulders. It reminds me of a man I once knew named Silas. Silas was a good man, a hard-working man, but he lived his life as if he were carrying the weight of the whole world in his pockets. You see, Silas had a strange habit. Every time something went wrong, a flat tire, a cold cup of coffee, or a disagreement with his son, he would pick up a small stone from the ground and tuck it into his coat pocket. He told himself that these stones were reminders so he would not make the same mistake twice. Before long, his coat became so heavy that he could no longer stand up straight. He walked with his chin tucked into his chest, eyes fixed only on the dirt beneath his feet. He was so focused on the weight he was carrying that he forgot what the sky looked like. He thought the road was getting steeper, but the truth was much simpler. His pockets were just too full. One evening, as the sun began to dip below the horizon, Silas could go no further. He slumped down on a wooden bench outside a small general store, gasping for air. An old woman was sitting nearby in a rocking chair, watching the shadows grow long. She looked at Silas, then at his bulging pockets, and she shook her head slowly. "That is a heavy load you are carrying, Silas," she said. Silas groaned. "The world has become a heavy place, Margaret. Every step feels like I am climbing a mountain." Margaret leaned forward and pointed at his coat. "The world is exactly the same as it has always been," she replied. "The mountain is not in your path. The mountain is in your pockets. Why do you keep those stones? They do not feed you. They do not keep you warm. They only keep you from looking up." Silas looked down at his coat. He reached in and pulled out a jagged gray rock. "This is the time my brother forgot my birthday," he whispered. He pulled out another. "This is the money I lost 10 years ago." One by one, Silas began to drop the stones onto the dusty ground. As the last rock hit the dirt, something miraculous happened. Silas stood up, and for the first time in years, his back was straight. He took a deep breath of the cool evening air, and it did not feel heavy. He looked at Margaret and smiled. He realized that while he could not change the past, he certainly did not have to carry it home with him. It is easy to look at a story and see the truth, but it is much harder to see it in our own mirrors. The truth is, we all have a coat like the one Silas wore, tucked deep inside our hearts. We tell ourselves that by holding on to our worries, we are staying prepared for the worst. We think that if we worry enough, we can somehow prevent the rain from falling or the wind from blowing. But worry is a heavy currency that buys us absolutely nothing. It is like a rocking chair, it keeps you moving, but it does not take you anywhere. Real peace begins when you finally realize that you are not the manager of the universe. You are not responsible for fixing every broken thing or every broken person. You are allowed to be a light soul. You are allowed to empty your pockets of the past so that you have enough room to hold the beauty of today. Tonight, before you go to sleep, imagine leaving that heavy coat at the front door. You do not need those rocks in your dreams. You have earned the right to a light heart. If this message felt like a warm cup of tea for your soul, please subscribe to stay with us here on the porch. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Which stone are you laying down tonight? Thank you for your time. I hope you have a gentle evening and a very deep sleep. Take care of yourself.